Sam Darnold is going to start Super Bowl 60. How in the world did he get here?
I mean, it's pretty tremendous. Like one of the most remarkable comeback stories in NFL history, really, for a quarterback. Like you're talking about
sports.
In sports.
Life.
He was a cast-off. He was a joke. The term seeing ghosts is that's Sam Darnold synonymous.
How about his mononucleosis once upon a time with the Jets, where usually I feel like when you hook up, usually people like think that that's pretty cool. Sam Darnold, I think, is the only person in the history of New York City to hook up and have it actually be turned against him with mononucleosis. You remember that from back in the day with him on the Jets?
And it became like a way to say that Sam Darnold is not durable because it took him forever to come back from mono. And it's like, is he just ducking the smoke because he's seeing ghosts? Like, how long does it take somebody to recover from the kissing disease? And now you think about the arc, the full circle, for him to go and ball out when he wasn't even practicing because he tore his oblique and then go crazy against this Rams defense. Man, like durability is now something that is kind of one of his hallmarks.
How could any of us potentially seen this coming? 21-35 as a starter prior to the last 2 years where he goes 28-6 in the regular season, which is like something like Tom Brady would do. Truly stellar and truly unbelievable. Now, Trysta, he obviously has a ton of physical talent and physical ability, but I have to think that coaching certainly helped here, right? And he's credited the year that he spent in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, starting the final game of that season. So he goes from Kyle Shanahan, then he goes to Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, then he goes to Clint Kubiak in Seattle, so kind of all part of the same tree of offensive coaches. I have to think that that had something to do with it in terms of coaxing out what is obviously a ton of natural ability for Sam Darnold.
Oh, 1,000%. And like, for me, the fact that he was a USC quarterback was a knock. I don't trust USC quarterbacks. This is the first time a USC quarterback has started in the Super Bowl in history. So that was a piece. You go to the Jets. You talk about all these good situations Sam Darnold has been in the last couple of years. The Jets were the worst situation that he could go into and basically tanked potentially his career. Then he goes to Carolina, and they have a lot of weirdness going on in terms of that quarterback room, what was going on with the coaching staff, the weapons that he has. I think he had Robbie Anderson maybe on that team as his wide receiver.
Robbie chosen, yes.
Yes, exactly, chosen. And he was not chosen. And so, yeah, you look at just the whole journey, and no one could have seen this coming, and the only reason he ended up getting the start in Minnesota was because J.J. McCarthy went down with a season-ending injury in preseason last season. What a story.
What I think is so funny, and I was wrong about this, Trysta, I'm guessing you were. I think all of us were wrong, right? Like, we actually saw him last year. The Vikings went 14-3 in the regular season and played on the final game of the regular season, a game to win the NFC North in Detroit, to be the 1 seed in the NFC, home field advantage, and he didn't play well in that game. And then he didn't play well in the wild card loss to the same Los Angeles Rams team that he beat 2 out of 3 times this year, including twice in 6 weeks at the end of the season, including the NFC Championship game. And all of us kind of collectively hand-waved the entire season because of how the last couple games went. It feels a little silly in retrospect. He played so awesome the whole year, didn't play well at the very end, and we're all just like, no, like, actually, he sucks. Like, he's still the Jets quarterback. It feels like this was a big miss by football fans in general, including me, and I'm at the top of that list.
1,000%. I saw him pre-draft, and we did this little thing with all of the quarterbacks of the draft class on the red carpet, and he chose an emoji to overlay his face, and it was a dog with big floppy ears, and then he signed it. And I let that get into my head as I've judged Sam Darnold throughout this entire career. Yeah, like this is just a golden retriever in quarterback form, but yet all the tough guys on the Seattle defense say that it's Sam Darnold that's the leader, that he's the guy that's no nonsense, wears Vans every day, and is part of the mob, just literally no BS, just get your job done, hard hat mentality, which for an SC quarterback is really not what we think of either.
What emoji would you have? You could have one hanging over your face.
If it was going to be a dog, it wouldn't be a golden retriever. It'd probably be a pit bull.
I would go with the sunglasses probably. Just keep it nice and really easy. I think we all kind of missed the boat with Sam Darnold last year heading into this year, and obviously a tremendous season by Sam Darnold. And by the way, you mentioned the 2018 quarterback draft class. Sam Darnold will start a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson, before Josh Allen. Pretty crazy. All three of those, obviously, in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft. So Darnold is electric in the NFC Championship game against the Rams. 346 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Did that performance, Trysta, give you enough confidence to think that Sam Darnold won't fall on his face coming up Super Bowl 60 against the New England Patriots?
So I agree that we were all wrong, and we just wiped it away, right? But then I was thinking about this as you were saying all that, is that can we trust Sam Darnold? Do we now have faith that those couple of games that he played, and he played one extremely well against the Rams, a divisional rival, can we now say that the bug, that the stink is off of Sam Darnold? And I just cringe. I visibly, uncontrollably shudder at putting my faith in Sam Darnold. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm still not quite there.
I don't think I'd be surprised if he played as well against New England's defense as the Patriots have a better defense than the Rams. But I wouldn't be surprised if he played well in the game. But I also think there's an outcome, and this is important, right? I'm not hating when I say this. If Trysta agrees, she's not hating. We're telling the truth. Would it really surprise anyone if he played like Kerry Collins in Super Bowl 35 for the Giants against the Ravens? Maybe not that bad, but Sam Darnold does have, like, in the range of outcomes where he throws 3 interceptions and puts the ball on the ground. By the way, Drake May does too. So it's not to say that Darnold can't have a bad game and Drake May can't also, but I mean, it is in his range of outcomes. It wouldn't be that surprising. And that's, I think, kind of the razor-thin margin that he's on right now, where he's kind of got everyone on his side right now, but you know this. One bad game in the Super Bowl, Trysta, and everyone's against him again heading into next year. You're going to say he stinks, he's a bust, he was never really that good. So he's gotten pretty far here, but he hasn't summited the mountain just yet.
Going up against the Patriots again in a revenge game. If you're on the goal line, I'm not putting the ball in Sam Darnold's hands. We are giving the ball to Kenneth Walker to avenge the Marshawn Lynch bad move, because it stuck with Russell Wilson. So we kind of need to keep an eye out that like you said, the margin is razor thin for Sam Darnold.
I think Mike McDonald's too good of a coach to get caught up in like Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevel screwed this up in Super Bowl 49. I think that they're going to get this right. I have enough faith in that coaching staff. So Seahawks Patriots in the Super Bowl, and it's not often where we see the favorite in the game kind of be the team that everyone rallies around. But given that Sam Darnold's the quarterback and the opposition, do you feel like most of America will be rooting for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl?
Yes, absolutely. The Seahawks, and again, the Pacific Northwest, is not a region, and it's not a team that everybody hates because they're not dominant in that way. We are all tired of Chiefs and Patriots. And for the Chiefs to fall off, just for the Patriots to rear their ugly ass heads back into the Super Bowl again, is just disgusting. And it's a disservice to Drake May and Mike Vrabel and how likable those two dudes are, because this is the evil empire, Nick. I think you would agree with me when I say that. Even though it's not the same team, none of the guys are on the team or are back with Brady, but Brady has done so much for that team that we don't want to see them win ever again.
For fans of a certain age that don't remember, you just remember all the winning. The Patriots were a laughingstock when I was a kid growing up in the 90s. Robert Kraft buys the team and Bill Parcells and Drew Bledsoe. They go to a Super Bowl. They lose that one to the Green Bay Packers. And I remember when Brady became the quarterback, early on in the 2001 season. And the Patriots win the Tuck Rule game. And they're dogs, and they go on the road to Pittsburgh and they win. And they're a huge dog against the Rams in Super Bowl 36. And people liked the Patriots. They were the underdog. And if not for what Brady became and all the wins and all, the ripping the heart out of the opposing fan base and Brady being the greatest of all time, it feels like the Patriots and Drake May is so likable and Vrabel's likable that they would be the underdog story. And I think you're so right that Brady and all their winning kind of destroyed that here. And the Patriots are kind of the Yankees are always going to be the villain. And I think that makes Seattle, who's a favorite in the game, somehow Seattle is the lovable underdog, despite the fact that they're favored in the game.
Yeah, it's just a crazy world that we live in. And I'm going to be rooting for Seattle, and I'm going to be rooting for Sam Darnold. For me, as a Cowboy fan and a Portland fan that does not like Seattle, this is a very rare moment for me.